Ryan, tell us about
44.
your My Cape Town shirt and specifically 44.
The 44 is that's a long standing number. It's probably actually to do with my relationship with Neil McKenzie. Obviously a Lions legend, and his number was 44, but he's coached me for a long period of time now, and him and I are very, very close. So as I graduated through the Lions honors, I asked him if I may be fortunate enough to don his number, and he gave me permission. Um, and a testament also to the kind of guy he is. Devon Conway also wanted 44, but it was taken in the New Zealand side, so he goes with 88. So that's the history of 44. It's just, trying to contribute to the Lions legends, and hopefully can go a bit further than that.
And hopefully you one day will be a Lions
Exactly.
legend.
Hopefully someone will ask me for my number.
Welcome to the Pitchside Podcast, the home of authentic cricket conversations with me, Mr. Hopo.
How you feeling?
Good.
Do you do interviews quite a lot?
I wouldn't say quite a lot, but yeah, we do them. I don't think I struggle with them. I kind of like them.
Yeah.
But
like settings like this, podcast?
I haven't done too many formal ones. The last one I did was probably when we played against the West Indies. I did a formal sit down with six. Yeah, maybe I did one or two now with the MI group, but I haven't done any podcasts, anything like that. So far.
Nothing at length, nothing as
extremely
intense.
long, no.
Okay.
Nothing pushing more than 15, 20 minutes. So this will be a new for me too.
Okay. All right. Hopefully you're ready to open up, eh?
Well, hopefully I am.
Have you seen any of the podcasts? Have you?
I have seen a few snippets of them, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward
So you
to...
don't even know what to expect?
Maybe I have some clues, but
Okay.
I'll play dumb for them.
Authentic cricket conversation. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pitchside Podcast, the home of authentic cricket conversations. Super excited to be sitting with someone who is the leading run scorer of the second edition of SA20. But not only that, he is someone that is reliable and consistent. He always racks in the runs. Who else can it be other than Ryan RICKELTON? Woo! How you feeling?
Good. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
With the backdrop of the DP World Wanderers Stadium.
Yeah, elegant as usual. Beautiful as usual. Surprised not raining, but yeah, nice to be here.
Some of the memories that you have at the top of your head from this iconic stadium?
Well, it'll be tough to look past the last MI game here with Russy. The 200-run partnership was obviously a great feat for us, but I've had many wonderful memories here. Scored a lot of runs here. Hopefully we'll continue to do so, but yeah, probably also playing a test match against West Indies at my home ground was quite special for me. And yeah, just a lot of memories with the Lions group along the way. And I'm sure there's going to be a hell of a lot more.
We'll delve deeper into SA20 and Test cricket. I want you to just take us back to the moment, early memory of you when you picked up your gloves and the bat.
It always starts here. Bit of not a tough question. I can't obviously pinpoint it like most people can't, but yeah, I think my fondest memories when I was a bit younger, I was fortunate enough to live on St. Stithian's campus. My dad was a teacher there, so I always remember when I was about 7 or 8, taking my dad down to the nets before school. 6:30, he's feeding balls to me on the machine, and that's kind of where my love grew for the game. I have an older brother, so we obviously played a bit of backyard cricket, and made many friends along the way at school too. So yeah, the competition, the camaraderie you had, the fun you had too was also a huge element of it. But it probably started the real love for the game at Saints with my father in the net.
There was an article that I read where you said that the team at St. Stithians would always smoke up teams. That's how good you guys were. And you were with KG Mold as well. How were those times?
We had obviously KG. He was way too good for school. He was useless for Saints. if I'm going to be honest. But he's a mate, so I can say that. He was just too quick, so guys couldn't really handle it. Played with Curtis Camphor, plays for Ireland, Brandon Glover, who's at Durham and the Netherlands, and Ricardo Vasconcelos, who's with Northampton, and myself, Jan. And we actually had a few very good cricketers as well that didn't pursue it, but our team was phenomenal. It's great to see. Oh, so we had Marcus Ackerman. Sorry, forgive me, Marky. It's great to see our guys have progressed throughout different stages of their career. From that team to say that we have six or seven players playing professionally is pretty cool, I think.
And at what point do you then realize as a youngster that maybe this is a sport that I would like to professionally be part of?
I think when you start making provincial sides, for my case, definitely when you started making provincial sides, I was fortunate I made the under 13 side, but under 15 was probably the one where I won the bat of the tournament there. So that was quite a nice feat. It's always one thing to do at school, but when you put all the best players together and you compete against everyone else, and to come out on top as a team and individually was kind of probably the point where I thought, this could be a career. And then to grow through those, age group stages with Gauteng, kind of just, cemented that path saying this is where I want to go. So it probably starts there, I think.
Tell us about you being part of the under 19 setup. You represented South Africa at the youth test.
Yeah, I was unfortunate. I was in that age group bracket between World Cups. So I was probably just too young for Aiden and KG's one, and obviously too old for the next one. So, but either way, I was still fortunate enough. We went over to England with the under 19 side. We played 2 test matches there, which was foreign for us as schoolboy cricketers. We only used to playing 50 over games. So that was a cool experience. Everyone gets excited to play test cricket and, or test cricket, under 19 test cricket, and find how they're going to adapt. So that was awesome. We played those games. We drew the tests and we got absolutely hammered in the one-day stuff. I think we lost 5-0. But that was, again, England's World Cup team that we played against. So they buried us as expected. So it was an awesome opportunity and a great learning experience. I was fortunate enough to go to Bangladesh the year after as one of the older guys or more senior players to help prepare the guys for the World Cup in Bangladesh, which was also, you're 18, it's all foreign to you. But again, cool experience to go to Bangladesh, and we played 7 one-day games there, and I think we got a hiding as well. But, foreign stuff to us, and those are, memories I'd look back and say this is a starting point.
At that age, especially when you speak about it was such a great learning experience, but what are you learning about yourself and about your game at such a tender age?
I think you learn that you're probably not as good as you think you are, or you probably are better than what you think you are, if that makes sense. It's easy being the schoolboy bully.
Yeah.
But to then go put it on against guys that have probably played professionally already. I'm talking about the England and the Bangladesh boys. Those guys that already played first-class cricket and, we're probably a year or two ahead in their development compared to us. We were fresh out of school. We beat everyone, so we were, a bit cocky, thinking that we could turn up and do the same thing. That's not the case. So it's probably the humbleness it brings you, and it just kind of shows you that you got a long way to go, and you need to start working on it. And the same thing for Bangladesh. We played against players that were, at 10, 20 first-class games at 19 already. So they're streaks ahead of you. So it's just the encouragement to try catch up, and you learn the things the hard way. It was a tough tour for a lot of players, myself included, but you go through those times, and you try to figure out a way and how, if you do get another opportunity to go there, that you don't caught with your pants down again, and you can represent yourself a bit better.
When you say tough tour, just elaborate on that.
Bangladesh one was really tough because, again, foreign conditions, the ball's spinning a lot. Here at Joburg in the Highveld, it doesn't spin necessarily a lot. And also at schoolboy cricket, you're not really going to counter any really good spinners, I guess. Sorry to all of the ones that are really good. But, so you just learn those things. It was tough. That, they always say fast bowlers can scare you, but spinners can make you look stupid. And there were a few of us that looked a bit stupid that trip. But like I said, again, that was probably the tough tour, is that we didn't have the answers for what they were dishing out. But, you got to go through that, like I said, and you progress. That if I had to go back there now, I'd like to think I at least have some answers.
And first-class cricket, How was that? I mean, I think you started with the Lions around the 2017-2018 season, if I'm not mistaken.
So I studied at UJ after school, um, and I got a contract here with the Strikers and kind of etched my way into that team. Probably cracked into the Lions side around 2017. And again, that was a new experience for me. I had to wait my turn. There were phenomenal players in and around the time. Obviously, Mackie just retired. Alvera Peterson was around. Stephen Cook, Nicky, Russy, to name a whole list. Timber, Tolakile, everyone was here running the show. So you did have to wait your time. But in that process, you learn the lessons. And if you catch a game here and there, you obviously try to do your best. There's probably more internal pressure than external pressure. But you try to figure it out. And I'd like to think over time I've got more opportunity. I've worked it out a lot more. And I can say that I can roughly play first class cricket and would like to obviously keep pursuing it.
Is it the pressure of wanting to make best with the situation or the opportunities you're given, especially with so many good players around you?
I think when you're young, you want to prove to yourself or you want to prove to others that you can play. I see it in our change room now. There are guys that are waiting in the wings, and if they get out, win that opportunity, it's doom and gloom. It's the game over. They're never going to get another opportunity. How they're going to come back from it, all those kind of things. And I think as a player, you go through that cycle. You want to prove that you're good enough to yourself. You want to prove it to your teammates. You want to, your family, your friends. And that's probably more internal pressure than it is externally. As a young guy walking into any team, he should never be under the impression that he has to score the runs to win the game for the team. Obviously, it's his job to score runs, but a good side will always be able to protect him. That if there's 6 batters, 5 of the experienced guys will be able to do the job. Whatever he gets will be a bonus. But I guess when you're young, you don't really actually think about that. You just think, geez, I need to get some runs today to, have a chance tomorrow. And those are just the internal pressures that come with it. And over time, the more opportunity you get, the more you figure things out, the less that kind of dies, or the more that kind of dies down, and the less internal pressure there is. And then obviously it's just more external about doing the job for the team.
Let's then talk about your stint with the national side, especially speaking about internal battles and having to prove yourself. Do you feel like you're constantly at a position where you have to prove your worth with the national side?
Definitely. I feel like I'm 20 years old again, debuting for the Lions. It's that same cycle. Because you've done it here, there's people talking about you. There's that expectation that you're just going to come in and light the show up. And obviously with the national side, there's definitely a hell of a lot more external pressure. No matter what, if you open any social media, if you're not having a good day, you'll see your name, you'll see your face. So I think when I played for South Africa, my internal pressure is huge because, again, you want to do well and you want to actually prove to yourself. I want to prove to myself more than anything that I can get hundreds and get runs at that level. And I still have to go through that cycle again when I play again one day. But it's just, it can be vicious, but I think, again, over time, you look back probably at your time playing for the Lions, that cycle is going to happen, but you can control it a little bit more. I'm just trying to make sure that if I do get another opportunity, that cycle is less aggressive, that I can probably take a little bit more pressure off myself, and actually just go out there and just give it a crack and see what happens. I think it's a funny one because you kind of get pushed to the point where you sit like that. And I think a great example would be David Bedingham in this case. I've known Dave for a long time. He scored runs all around the world. But he didn't walk in there. He's quite a calm guy, but he didn't walk in there saying, oh my, how can I prove it? How can I prove to myself? How can I prove to other people? He walked in there, with this is a hell of an opportunity that I'm going to play. But that comes with age and that comes with experience. He's 29. He's got that experience. He's gone through those cycles to know. So I like to think that if I get another opportunity, my cycle will be less vicious. And I can hopefully tap into maybe a bit of what Dave's done and just be a bit more excited to play and have an impact for the team.
Tell me about your relationship with Conrad.
Is there more to this question?
I wanted to go further.
You know what?
But it's fine. Tell me how your relationship with Conrad is.
I've always got on well with Shooks. He was my he was my academy coach. He took us to Sri Lanka. We never clashed in any way, shape, or form, but we did get on quite well. He's a straight shooter. I also sometimes can be a bit of a straight shooter, but I think with that came a lot of mutual respect. Obviously, it's different now that he's in the test side. I wouldn't say we have a bad relationship by any stretch of the imagination. I just think he's gone his way. His way is obviously away from me at the moment, but it can happen. I still like to think I'd be in the mix of the team. I still like to think I can have a huge impact for South African Test cricket. But whether Shooks is the guy to think that I'm the if Shooks is the guy to think that I'm the guy to do that, that's great. But if he's not thinking that, then I gotta prove it to him that maybe I'm the guy for that.
So take me to the moment where you found out that you would not be part of the India Test squad. And especially because 8 months prior to that, we heard Conrad speaking about the fact that Ryan Rickleton is a player that we would always work our test squad around. And then fast forward many months later, you're not part of the squad.
Yeah, it was frustrating. It was a big shock for me too, to be honest. It was it was a nice ending to the summer last year where I got rewarded with a national contract. I heard those comments in the media, so it kind of gives you a bit of a boost saying, you know what, this next summer there's a lot to play for, but I'm going to get an opportunity. To get left out without any hard cricketing reason was a bit frustrating for me. It was quite a tough pill to swallow because it was such a sharp explanation of, just such a sharp explanation that it left me with more questions than answers. The frustrating thing is that I haven't had any communication going forward about what I need to do or what I've done to then get back into the team. So it is what it is. I'm going to keep trying my best to obviously get back into that side, but I don't have any expectations at the moment. They've obviously gone their route, and I have to respect that, and I have to obviously just try to fight my way back in. But if it comes again, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But like I said, I don't have any expectations to play in the next handful of months, 12 months, which is sad, but it also is just the reality of it. Those players that are obviously playing now, they're going to have their opportunity, and over the course of South African Test cricket, the schedule, it probably will be at least 12 months for a fair opportunity. So I made peace with that, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to try, still bang down the door and get back in.
But how did that conversation unfold with Victor?
With Shukri.
Oh,
no more
Shukri.
Victor.
Because there was another incident where you had a conversation with Shukri. This was around, I think, your ankle issue.
Yeah, that
right?
was when that was the Australian tour.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, that was a different one. I don't think it was actually Victor's fault by any stretch of imagination. I think it was, the frustrating part is that the medical team didn't line up. There was a set plan to do this, to obviously play the summer and then do the surgery at the end. It wasn't do or die. I wasn't going to fall over today if I didn't do the surgery. So the surgery was always coming. There was a set plan from the surgeon, from Ziad, our physio, from all the doctors that actually work with me on a daily basis. And that's where the frustrating thing was. The report came out, the plan, everything was set in stone, signed off by one of the most, profound surgeons in the country. Everything was set in motion, and to have effectively at the time the team doctor look at the report and say ankle's not good enough, sorry, without even consulting me, was a bit tough. So obviously Vic had to relay the bad news, and having chatted to him and chatted to Mali, who was head coach at the time, it was out of their hands, from my understanding. But I think it was more bit of a kick in the face to our medical team, which was kind of the frustrating thing. I really, really felt bad for Ziad, our physio, and for the guys that have put in the time and effort with me to get me fit and playing, and to get me where I was, and to get the plan ready, to then get the carpet taken out from underneath you without any just explanation was tough for me, but equally tough for them.
But what did you think was happening? I mean, around that issue and you not being able to play?
I thought I was going. Again, the reason I was given is that you can't take someone with any pre-existing injury on tour, but I know that's happened before in multiple cases. again, the frustrating part was the plan was set and the doctor just saw the x-rays or the MRI and just said, it's not good enough, we're not risking it. Barring in mind that I did tell them I am going to play the full summer, and regardless of what happens, I'm still following the plan. So yeah, that was the frustration of the whole thing. There was no communication towards me, and that's also irritated the life out of me and the group that was with me. And again, full respect to the team for getting me on the park. I had expectations to go because the plan was set. Again, it wasn't just a wishy-washy plan. It was a to-the-T, detailed, very productive, constructive plan as well. So yeah, it was all fun and games, frustrating, but the talks I had with Vic and Mully was kind of out of their hands, and I had to respect that from their side.
But how heartbreaking was that season of your life?
That was hugely frustrating because as a young kid, I've always looked up to Test cricket in Australia. I used to wake up early and watch the Proteas play Australia. I used to watch Graham Smith and the team beat them there, and that was a dream to play Test cricket in Australia against, obviously probably the world's greatest team if you look at trophy wise. And even though it was a tough tour, to go out there and play at the SCG or the WACA or all those stadiums with such history was something I was chomping at the bit to get. Regardless of the result, it was just going to be an experience that no one can ever take away from you. So that was hugely disappointing. But I had 10 or so days to sulk and mope around, and life moves on, and I had to get stuck in for the Lions and make sure that we started off well.
How does your sulking looks like? Like how bad did it get?
I don't talk to anyone. I'm grumpy for at least a week or two, and then someone just tells me to wake up, and then eventually I get over myself. I'm a grudge holder, so I might still be sulking.
But you channeled your frustration in the performance with the Lions. I mean, you racked in the runs. I remember you were a leading run scorer. I'm not sure whether it was a T20 or one day, but you were racking in the runs around that time.
Yeah, it was a nice. Yeah, I guess when you have a bit of motivation, anything can happen. Mike Smith recently joined us, and him and I got on quite well, and he was actually the catalyst in getting me back on the horse, and using that devastation as a bit of motivation, I guess. So he was the one that was in my ear 24/7. Don't give it away. One's not enough, two's not a three. Just get as many as you can. I think I ended up with almost 600s in 8 games or something like that, or 10 games. So I kept going and kept going. I wasn't out there to make anyone look stupid, even though I've read that I was.
Yes.
But I was just out there to do myself justice and to do the team justice. That was the medical team as well that was behind me and supporting me. Whatever they did behind closed doors was up to them. But, I still have to represent myself and the team. And
Ryan, it seems like you really enjoy batting alongside Russy van der Dussen.
I do. Russy and I, we have a long relationship. When I first came into the side, I didn't like Russy.
Why?
In the Lions, I didn't like Russy at all. I don't know if it's we were young players. Myself and Marcus Ackerman entered the team at at the same time. Russy hadn't played for South Africa yet, so I don't know if it was just the competition maybe, or who the young guys coming in kind of thing. So I wouldn't say we clashed, but there was definitely a bit of young v old kind of, how it should be in the cricket side. So, but over time, as Russy climbed his ladder and I climbed my ladder, I leant a lot on him with regards to my batting, and we spent a lot of time as our relationship developed, learning from him. I've learned a lot from him. I continue to learn a lot from him. And I was fortunate enough to play a couple of games for South Africa with him, but I've played a lot with him for the Lions, for the Josie Stars, and now obviously MI. And it's been fun. I love him. I love how he plays the game. I just really enjoy it. I get on well with his wife Lara, and it's awesome. We go on tour, we spend time together. In South Africa we spend time together. So it's just I'd like to think he'd say the same about me though.
Okay. Well, hopefully I get to interview him and we'll find out whether he'd say the exact thing.
If he doesn't, I retract it.
So let's chat about if you felt like the SA20 was some sort of an audition for the World Cup that's happening in the USA.
Going into the tournament, I never even would have thought of that question coming my way. Look, it would be unbelievable experience. I'd love to go to the World Cup. There's no denying it, but I know the nature of the beast. Their players, they're ready. They're phenomenal players. They're ready. And I don't have any expectations for it. If it happens, like I said, it would be great, and I'd love to get out there and playing a World Cup. How cool would that be, kind of thing? So
I know it would be cool,
it would be
especially
unbelievable.
especially if you look at how Quinton de Kock has retired from Test and ODI, and there are talks that he might not be part of the selection, but maybe that gives you an opportunity to be part of the squad. Have you thought about such things?
Yeah, maybe it does. I thought maybe I could get into the squad. I think you're human. You naturally would maybe look forward. Like I said, I'd love to be part of it. If I am, I'd be bloody excited, and hopefully I can be put in a position where they want me to play the same kind of role. But again, it's international cricket. You got to adapt or die, kind of thing. So yeah, again, it would be awesome if it happens. I'd be chuffed as hell. If it doesn't, I'd like to think that hopefully I can get a few other opportunities around the world while that World Cup's going on.
Let's stay with international cricket, especially with Test. We touched on it a little bit, but what was it like to get your first call up and get your cap and be capped for Test cricket?
Yeah, it was a dream come true. I knew a few weeks before. Barch told me that I'll be involved in the series against Bangladesh. Funny enough, we were playing against Russell's team at the time, so Russ and I obviously have a few memories on that, and Hash was commentating too, so a lot of inside jokes there. But yeah, it was obviously awesome. It was a dream come true. I'll test cricket as the pinnacle of all cricket, and to get the opportunity to represent South Africa was something that I'll cherish forever. I was so excited to play. It was probably my downfall in those two tests. I was really, really buzzed up and wanting to hit the ball, kind of thing, instead of actually going through my routine and being more relaxed, which I usually am. But I guess, again, like I say, you learn those lessons. Sometimes they're not cricket lessons. Sometimes they're just individual lessons about yourself and how to control your emotions, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was awesome. Temba gave me my cap the night before. Said a speech, had to say some nice things about me.
What did he say?
Do
you remember?
I don't remember any of it.
Come on.
No, it's obviously just the normal stuff. You worked hard to get you. I've also, along with Russy, I've been privileged and fortunate enough to play with Temba for a few years as well, with the Proteas and with the Lions and the Josie Stars as well. So the three of us travel everywhere.
You do?
So Tiger gave me my cap, and again, it was quite special. The whole team gathers around and you go through the process and the ceremony. And yeah, I was just, I think Temba just itched on just really trying to be who I was and just be myself. And on the day when I was batting and I was all frantic, he could kind of see it, but he just laughed and he smiled at me and just said, "Watch the ball." So it's just those kind of relationships that you have with players that do make it a bit more special. And obviously teammates out there carries through just a bit further.
And then you had the stint with West Indies as well. You played Test cricket with West Indies, against West Indies rather, and then you were at England as well.
Yeah, I played the last Test at the Oval. That was a hell of an experience.
How was that?
Phenomenal. Huge pressure, that internal and external. The Queen died that week as well. So there was a lot going on that game. It was 1-1 going into that Test match. The Oval's renowned to be a good batting wicket. It wasn't a good batting wicket. It was going sideways.
And you struggled to bat?
We all struggled, yeah. It was a tough test. I think we got bowled out for 180 and we bowled them out for 190. So in their home conditions, the game was on. But eventually they just overpowered us. I won't say as expected, but, at that stage, their bowlers in those conditions were just really, really tough to handle. But the experience as a whole, again, like I'd put England in the same category as Australia. Playing in Australia, same thing. Playing in England is a dream come true. To be on that tour, obviously, to be at Lords and Manchester and get stuck in with the crowds and the abuse they give, and you hear the champagne bottles at Lords, is an experience second to none. Obviously, to get out there and play and take on Broad and Anderson and all of them was also an experience second to none. So Broad's now retired. I gave him 2 more extra wickets. But, to say that I came across them, at least something those are greats of the game, at least something that I can, even though they got me out, at least I can say it was a unique occasion.
So, Ryan, what are your reflections after you're in England, you come back home and you're reflecting on how your test cricket and your performance has unfolded?
It's tough because those 4 test matches was at least 16 months between them. So you kind of feel like you're learning the same, or you're making the same mistake or learning the same lesson again and again because you never get some kind of continuity or flow into it. So my lessons, I guess, would be if I had to play Test cricket again, would obviously just to probably take those expectations away, um, and just compete a little bit more. Stop worrying about trying to get 100 and really putting that extreme internal pressure on yourself. Naturally, it's going to be there. You walk out of the bus into the change room of a Test match, it's going to be there naturally, but you don't really have to dwell on it. Again, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You just got to keep doing the right things. Is probably my biggest learning. And just to, I don't know, it's a bit weird one. Just to actually try and have a bit of fun. Like I say, when you're 19, you're playing for Lions, you're so stressed about if you're going to play again. You're 26, you're playing for South Africa, you're still so stressed if you're going to play again. It's that process just repeats itself for me, and I'm sure it does repeat itself for a few other players. But going in, the confidence you can get, even from other formats, from this example of the SA20, the confidence that's given me to compete at a high level with foreign players, with our best players, is something that bodes well in your cap, and it's confidence I can take into, I think, other formats as well. And again, it's a whole age-old story, trying to prove it to yourself more than anything. So I guess my lessons would be obviously just technically just make sure you're in order, and mentally just make sure that you unburden yourself and actually can play the game rather than be crippled by it.
Also, talk to us about just the beast that is international cricket, because you look at franchise level, you're dominating, you then transition into the international stage, and you get a wake-up call.
You do, definitely. We're chatting about it with Russell and Hash the other day, because he was saying there's a big difference between franchise cricket and international cricket, and there's a big difference in terms of expectation, pressure, all that kind of stuff. But Hash was saying skill-wise, it's pretty level. You got really skillful South African players, you got really skilled overseas players, and that would be throughout all the leagues. But I think when you play international cricket, there's just a different intensity or different expectation and pressure that comes with it. And no doubt it'll be again at the World Cup when South Africa play again. And to transition, I don't know the secret because I probably haven't done it yet. But I'd like to think that whatever, skill-wise, I'd like to think that I can maybe match that level. It just would be trying to manage that expectation and that level of pressure.
Do you sometimes look at your journey with the national side and sometimes feel like maybe you've had moments of being unlucky or hard done?
I think every player would think that. There are moments, there are opportunities that were afforded to me that I definitely wish I took with both hands. But
Like?
you'd say play 4 test matches. If I get 200s, it would be a very different conversation right now, kind of thing. So, but I guess we all want to take our opportunities. It's just about how you take them. You look at Dave again, he's taken his opportunity, and credit to him, he's done well. So every player would want to be those kind of guys that take the opportunities. You just hope that you've kind of showed enough potential to perhaps get a few more opportunities. And then obviously down the line, you grab one of them. So I would say I've been unlucky. A bit frustrating at times. There have been times where I've been tipped to play, times I've been excited and ready to play, and the wheels kind of spun around, and when I'm ready, I'm not playing, and when I'm kind of not sure about it, I'm playing. So, but I guess that's also that's cutthroat, this game. It's cutthroat sport. It's cutthroat playing for South Africa. International cricket is just cutthroat, I guess. You're never going to feel your best. You're never going to be 100% ready. But mentally, I think the learning, I guess, or just being okay with that and still trying to find a way to do the right things that could give you the best chance of being successful. And I'd like to think that if I do get an opportunity, I'd lean on that. And even if I'm not feeling 100% ready, just make sure that I've, ticked the right boxes and make sure that I'm doing the right things, that I can actually just unburden myself, like I say, and play the game and hopefully take one of those chances.
So the desire for you to come back into the test side still burning inside?
Sure, definitely. If you had to ask me, yeah, I want to play 100 tests. I know with our FTP, it's basically impossible, but I'd love to still have a meaningful test career. As cricketers, I think that's where players get judged anyway. With all the leagues going on, it's I wouldn't say it's easier. It's not easy, but there's more opportunity in the T20 franchises. But Test cricket's Test cricket for a reason. It's bloody hard. And if you want to make any significant impact in the game and judge yourself according to other players, you can't do that other than Test cricket.
And what do you think you need to personally do to get back into the side?
If I had the answer from them, I'd tell you. But
And maybe you would be back in the side, right?
all I could do now is just score the runs and win the games for the Lions. I think also you get selected from winning teams. If the Lions win the 4-day competition, the possibility of our players going up, not just myself, but all of us, all of the other players that have put in performances throughout the summer, is much greater than the team at the bottom of the table. It's just the nature of it. Players get picked from winning sides. But I think that's just sport, though. Players get picked from winning teams. It's awesome to have those stats and break those records and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not winning, if your side's not winning, then it means a little bit less, which is frustrating from an individual perspective. But as a team perspective, it's also frustrating because you want to play well and you want your team to win. And the Lions now have a great opportunity to at least probably have a crack at two trophies. So if you answer your test side question, obviously scoring the runs would always be a feather or a step in the right direction. But if the Lions are winning the 4-day competition, that just boosts everything for not just myself, for everyone.
The CSA T20 competition is happening. What are you looking forward to? And what are you hoping for the team?
I'm a bit nervous for that already, actually.
Really? Why?
Again, expectation. I think going out there, people would expect. I would also expect. But it will be fun. I think it's 14 games, a lot of cricket. So I'd like to try replicate what I've done in the SA20. Obviously, it will be different. There'll be different challenges, different wickets, different everything. But if I can stick true to that game plan and implement how I want to play the game and strive for impact rather than runs, and make it easier for the guys in the team, I think that's kind of the role I would like to shape my T20 game now. And having chatted to Russ already about the whole thing, and Hash, I think that's kind of the way we want to have a look at the Lions playing. We've got a star-studded team. I think the only one that won't be playing will be KG, because I think he'll be in the IPL, or he's obviously be in the IPL. But we'll have Russy, Reza, Temba, we'll have Mulder, we'll have Jones, we'll have full side. So again, looking at that batting lineup, there's a lot behind me. So I think that will be incentive for me to try to take the game on and get the Lions off to a good start.
And potentially walk away with the trophy, eh?
I'd be disappointed if we didn't win it, in all honesty. I know it sounds a bit cocky to say that, but looking at our side, I think as a group, we'd be very disappointed as a line setup, as the central lines of CGL would be frustrating if we didn't actually win that trophy. So, but again, we got a job next week. We got a job this week, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And lastly, what does the next coming seasons look like for you? What are you hoping to just achieve for yourself personally in your game?
Following the league, I'd obviously love some opportunities to play overseas. I've always liked playing county cricket. I'd still love to play county cricket, but I think the T20 landscape's one I think any player would be foolish to turn an eye on. So I'd like to see if I can get into a few of those leagues overseas, just to get out there and continue to grow my game and my T20 game. Obviously, financially, there's rewards for those players. Travel-wise, lifestyle-wise, there are rewards for those players too. But I still have full passion to play 4-day cricket and get stuck in and do the hard yards. If you had to say the next 12 months, I'd love to play for South Africa every single game. Again, whether it happens or not, I don't see it happening. But maybe post those 12 months, it might happen again. So that's kind of where the plan is for now, just obviously finishing off the summer strong for the Lions, and then hopefully I can pick up some opportunities overseas, get on with that, and then come back and start the whole process again.
Well, we're hoping and trusting that you will don the green and gold once again.
Me too.
Yeah, I think all of
I hope
us
so as well.
We want to see Ryan donning the green and gold, right? Yes. Yes.
Ryan wants to see that too.
I think we all do. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are rooting for you. But Ryan, thank you so much for the chat. Really appreciate it.
Nice. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it too.
And thank you for tuning in to the Pitch Side Podcast, Season 3. We started off on a high note. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, on YouTube. Ryan, please tell everybody to like, comment, subscribe, please.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
With a little bit more energy, please.
This is my
your
camera. I'm getting double camera.
This one.
Well, what's happening with the shirt there? Are we not like, commenting, and subscribing for the shirt?
Oh, bring the shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, bring the shirt.
That's the excitement you
Wow, Ryan is already being a producer on my show.
get. I know.
But let's allow him to
I'll
shine.
take your job one day when I'm done.
Take it. Okay. You want to hold your shirt?
You can hold it. Yours, or must I hold it?
You
choose.
hold it.
Yep.
There you go. Okay, firstly, you must
This
tell
camera.
everybody that
That one
we are running a competition. You can stand a chance of winning Ryan RICKELTON's MI Cape Town. Yeah, am I right? My
Yeah.
Cape Town shirts. He wrecked in the runs with this shirt. Okay, so it's special. All right.
It is special.
Yes. What do they need to do? Like, comment, subscribe, and comment. Ne?
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. You got to like, comment, and subscribe. This is our MICT, one of my tops. Yeah, there's a competition running for it. So if you'd like a piece of it, I'm going to sign it. And hopefully, if you like, comment, and subscribe, this could be yours.
Yay! Just like that. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you
worries.
to everybody tuning in, and we will see you on the next episode of the Pitch Side Podcast with this beautiful backdrop of the wondrous Cricket Stadium. Bye.
Welcome to the Pitch Side Podcast, the home of authentic cricket conversations with me, Mr. Hopo.